Hello everyone. We are less than a week away from Mining Indaba 2022. Can you believe it? And it's even more exciting than usual because we haven't seen each other in almost 2 years. So what can we expect from this year's in-person event? Who better to ask than Mining Indaba's very own head of content, Tom Quinn. Tom, thank you so much for joining me.
An absolute pleasure, as always, Laura, to join you and talk about Mining Indaba.
So Tom, we meet again after what feels like a lifetime in a new world. Are we also going to see a new Mining Indaba?
I think very much so. It's been a long 2 years. People have really missed the opportunity to meet in Cape Town, and the appetite has been phenomenal to get back to Cape Town. So we have 5 heads of state. We have 38, I think, at the last count, ministers joining us. We've got a phenomenal array of CEOs. Of course, we have the new chief executive of Anglo American, Duncan Wanblad, who's joining us for the first time. So we have a bit of a world exclusive on that. But yeah, I think the time it's taken in the last 2 years has changed the world in terms of energy transition acceleration and the role that Africa can play in that, and of course the role that mining has to play in that. So yeah, we're really excited to get back to Cape Town.
Fantastic, Tom. So if we look back to the last live event, I think most will agree that the mining industry has changed and adapted quite well to our pandemic circumstances. How has Mining Indaba adapted? And particularly with regards, we can talk about ensuring that it stays relevant from a content perspective.
Yeah, certainly. And we're very aware that, I mean, we've done so much work over the last year with various stakeholders, including the Office of the President, the DMRE, CTICC, many people involved in making Indaba happen, just to make sure that it can go ahead. And of course, we've had to push it from its normal place in February to May to ensure that this happens. What we wanted to do was not do another virtual Indaba, because we realized that the real value of Indaba is for people to meet face to face, especially junior miners meeting with investors, ministers meeting with companies that do business within their jurisdictions, and all kinds of stakeholders involved. So we're running a very safe and secure event this year. Obviously, people will turn up and show their vaccination certificates and negative PCR certificates as well. We're somewhat constricted in terms of social distancing, but the recent announcement from President Ramaphosa to make sure that some of the rules are relaxed has been a great help for Mining Indaba, so that it can go ahead. We're over, I think, 4,000 registrations already right now. So people are wanting to get back to Cape Town, and that's going to provide a great boost for the Cape Town economy, but also for the national economy in South Africa.
Fantastic. Tom, it tickled my interest with some of the brilliant speakers that you have, but whet our appetite with regards to some of the key sessions that we're going to take place this year that we know we just can't miss.
Well, yeah, we've had a great response from many governments in Africa, and indeed President Ramaphosa will be joining us himself, I believe at 10 a.m. on the Tuesday. We also have the new president of Zambia, who's created a lot of excitement in terms of resetting the relationship with mining companies within Zambia. We also have President Masisi from the Republic of Botswana, the President of Zimbabwe, and also the Prime Minister of the DRC. So we're really not shy of heads of state and leaders within Africa who are coming to join us. And as I say, we're very honoured to welcome Duncan Wanblad as the new Chief Executive of Anglo American Group. We have senior representation from Exxaro, Rio Tinto, Newmont, many of the big operators that you could imagine from a mining indaba.
Fantastic, Tom. I can't wait to be there. You know, Tom, one of the other topics that I did want to cover with you is our mining elites in Africa. So you were part of the advisory board for our yearbook this year. And in our advisory and in our yearbook, we did have a heavy focus on ESG. And I know that that is well aligned with Mining Indaba's theme. So would you say that the caliber of nominations in our yearbook in relation to ESG were excellent and perhaps a representation of the work our industry is doing in the fields of ESG?
Very definitely. I mean, my background is in natural resources for, well, showing my age, but almost 2 decades now. And I've worked with oil and gas companies all over the world. I've worked with obviously mining companies, and what I can see in the last couple of years definitely is a shift from putting things on reports and checklists to actually having to ensure that ESG is operative within their business model and their line of work, particularly as Mining Indaba is an investor-focused event. We have a lot of people interested in ESG investing. We have many sessions dealing with ESG. So we have sessions involving battery metals and the role in the energy transition. And I think what we need to do as a mining economy, especially in Africa, is to let people know, to make that connection between mining and the energy transition, because I don't think that the average person on the street realizes how critical mining is to decarbonization, to the COP26 goals that have been introduced. We need to let people know that the minerals and metals that we get out of the ground achieves climate change. And so we've got lots of people from people like Natasha Vilhon, the chief executive of Anglo Platinum. We've got the UN involved this year. We have the EITI, as I say, Rio Tinto, Bushveld Minerals. We have traders from Trafigura and Glencore. We really have a whole array of the mining value chain who are very much interested and want to ensure that ESG in practice happens within mining, not just ESG talked about in the press, but actually happens on the ground. So I think the Mining Elites report that we did is very indicative of all the companies who are working very, very hard to make sure that ESG is a reality and not just this tick box that we've known about for years. It's actually making a difference in the way that communities are thriving in Africa.
And just the way you're speaking about it, Tom, is a reflection that it's a passionate subject of yours as well, and more than just a tick boxing exercise, even for Mining Indaba, which is wonderful. Of course, the other element of Mining Indaba is the reality that the owners, Hive Group, are now also the owners of the One-to-One conference. So anything our industry should know in relation to this for this year?
Well, yeah, it's obviously One-to-One have thrived in the last few years around the orbit of Mining Indaba, and they've set up a very good value proposition in terms of getting investors to meet with junior miners. And in the end, we thought, well, we need to acquire them because it makes the delegate journey at Mining Indaba a lot more simple. We didn't want to have people making the decision whether they needed to stay at CTICC, whether they needed to go elsewhere to do meetings. So our CEO, Mark Shashua, made a great decision in terms of acquiring One-to-One Group and integrating it into Mining Indaba, but also other resource events that we're running. So we now have that opportunity to give people the full experience of bespoke one-to-one meetings with investors, particularly in the junior space, but also the high-level content that we can offer them at main stage and other stages at Mining Indaba.
Indeed, a value add for anyone attending at this time of the year for Mining Indaba. Tom, was a great acquisition to make. So as always, it's been a pleasure, and I cannot actually wait to experience our first major mining in-person event since early 2020. And perhaps premature, Tom, to end this way, but nonetheless, when will we be gathering again?
Well, that sounds very Shakespearean with the reference to Macbeth then. We'll be gathering again. We have it slated to go back in the calendar for February next year. Obviously, we've had to make great concessions, and we really thank the government of South Africa, the DMRE, many people who've made it possible for us to gather in Cape Town this year. The Western Cape government have been very helpful in ensuring that we can do this. So yes, we shall meet again in February of next year. That's the plan. We want to put it back in the calendar. I know, like we said, it's been a long 2 years, professionally, but also privately for a lot of people, and we want to do our part to make sure it's normal for people once more together in Cape Town to help boost the economy locally, but also do a lot to boost everything that we're doing in terms of the African economy, in terms of mining.
Wonderful. Tom, it's been so good to connect with you. I'm sure you are hectic as you build up to the live event next week. I can't wait to be there, and I can't wait to see and hear some of the sessions and catch up with some of the speakers. So thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you there.
My absolute pleasure. It's always a good thing to speak with you, Laura, and thank you for the help that Mining Review Africa has given us over the last couple of years as well. It's been a team effort. We need to make sure that the African mining sector is front and center of the energy transition, and I think we've both worked together to do that.